back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. I'm a licensed cognitive behavior therapist, that's a CBT therapist, and a licensed mental health counselor. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the contents in this channel. I'd like to start by thanking all my subscribers, my viewers. I really appreciate each and every one of y'all. I really appreciate the kind comments, thoughtful comments that you leave in the channel. Today I'd like to talk about Murphy, the dog, Kaylee's dog. Or should I say Kaylee and Jack D's dog. Murphy is a big piece of this whole puzzle, in my opinion. Where was Murphy when the 4 victims were unalived? Where was Murphy after the victims were alive? And where was Murphy when Hunter, Emily, and Jody came to 1122 King Road? Allegedly, Murphy had no DNA on him. He had no red liquid on him. So I would assume that Murphy was in a separate room, or he was actually taken out of the house and brought back before the police arrived. That is a possibility. We never heard of Murphy. We've heard a dog barking, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's Murphy. Eric Gawa was the private shared driver that drove Kaylee and Maddie home. I believe he drove them around 1:56. Eric Gawa got a text message from DM at 2:10 asking him if he's still driving, and he replied back that he is. Allegedly, DM and BF liked the carbonado Kaylee and Maddie bought from the grub truck. So they wanted the same food, but I don't know why they cancelled it. I wonder if that was a code. I wonder if Eric Gawa could be part of this. It's very strange that he hasn't done any interviews where we've heard his voice or seen his face. We've just heard that he drove the girls home. And we've heard recently that DM texted him. What role does he play? He would know all the students, or most of the students, because allegedly there are only 4 private shared drivers.
The killer or killers used an edged weapon such as a knife, police just revealed. I spoke with Kaylees Sister, Olivia, who described the last night of the students' lives.
My sisters did everything right. They went out in the buddy system. They went out together. They Ubered out. They stopped and got food. They Ubered home. They let their dog out to go potty, and then they locked their house up. Ubered home. They let their dog out to go potty, and then they locked their house up. They did everything right. And this still happened.
Kaylee's sister Olivia clearly said that Kaylee and Maddie came home with the Uber driver. They locked their door. They let their dog out to potty, and they locked their door again. And this still happened. I wonder, when did Kaylee and Maddie let Murphy go out to potty? Because in that moment, the suspect could have entered the house, or he could have attacked them. We saw Maddie's black coat near the fire extension at Taylor Avenue. Is it possible that somebody chased Maddie down towards Taylor Avenue? Just a question. They let the dog out to potty, and this still happened. So Murphy was at home. Elvira would know because she saw it in the door dash cam of the neighbors. So Kaylee and Maddie came home. They let themselves in, locked the door. Then they let Murphy out to potty, and they locked the door again, and this still happened. So that means Elvira had to see Kaylee going in with Murphy and locking the door. What happened? Were there people hiding inside the house, I wonder? Because there was no forced entry, and the front door was left wide open. I wonder if they entered from the windows or if they climbed the ladder to Xana's room. Or did DM and BF allegedly let them in? They could have been threatened to let them in. I still want to know why Maddie and Kaylee called Jack D 10 times that night. I believe Kaylee called him 6 or 7 times and Maddie called him 3 times. After the last call to Jack D, that was at 2:52, Maddie Morgan calls Bethany Funk at 2:53. That is one thing that still is baffling for me from the transcript. And the second thing that I can never get over up to today is that Bethany Funk was taking photos for 1 minute. Who was she taking pictures of? And I wonder what Maddie told Adam. Adam is sitting in the corner there. Did she tell him that maybe Kaylee moved on? That Kaylee was moving with their dog? He used to follow Kaylee on Instagram, and Kaylee used to not follow. Kaylee wasn't following him. Neither was she following her sister. I find that to be strange. Elvira. This is from the Airmail article. I really find it to be important. But before he could make his move, before he could get in a room and have a heart-to-heart talk with the witness, that is Steve G. He was going to talk to one of the witnesses. I think that was DM. He was unexpectedly stopped in his tracks by the FBI. Are you listening? The FBI stopped Steve from talking to one of the witnesses. The borough had sent an official letter to Steve's attorney in Moscow, Shannon Gray, warning that if there was any attempt to contact the individual Steve had been pursuing, there would be legal consequences. The witness had originally reached out to the authorities through a tip line that promised to protect the identities of anyone volunteering information, and the borough was duty-bound to honor that commitment. So basically, they were having a commitment of basically telling the students to call in with all the information and snitch, and then we'll wrap it up and keep it in a gag order. But I can understand Steve, as a parent, wanted to talk to one of the witnesses just to ask, what happened that night? What happened to my daughter? What happened to Maddie? What happened to Xana and Ethan? But then that witness called the tip line and reported it to the FBI. So the FBI came after Steve and his lawyer Shannon Gray. They gave them a warning that if there was any attempt to contact the individual Steve had been pursuing, there would be legal consequences. So the witness ran and told the FBI. And the letter went to make clear with an intimidating force. The fact that Steve was the father of one of the victims gave him no dispensation from the legal consequences that accompany tampering with a government witness. So this was really serious. If the FBI is involved, that means basically it's kind of like a FBI witness protection program, I guess. They are protecting these witnesses not to talk. But this is the parent. He has every right to know what happened to his daughter. So what do you think about this? No wonder Steve has been threatened. He's been warned by the FBI not to talk to any of the witnesses, otherwise there'll be legal consequences. And I'm sure, I have a feeling it's DM. It could be Hunter, it could be Emily, but I think one of the witnesses. BF is a witness, but DM is most likely the witness. She saw BK. Let me know what y'all think of this. But it makes sense why Steve got Shannon Gray as his lawyer. So Steve has tried hard to talk to the witnesses to find out the truth, but he was stopped in his tracks. May the victims rest in peace.